Hello, Internet people. This is the Geek Gaming Culture Soapbox channel, and the Dr. Disrespect saga ever continues. Breslau of Internet fame, and apparently now of the Rolling Stone, had sent his latest tweet out saying, quote, "From me for Rolling Stone, Dr. Disrespect knew he was sending those explicit messages to a minor. Former Twitch employee said he indicated that this was no problem and continue on. There was no confusion." He goes on to say that a look inside Twitch during its Me Too movement as streamers face a flood of sexual misconduct allegations in June 2020, Twitch created an incident response team codenamed Gold Sparrow to develop a process to investigate and take action. YouTube never offered Dr. Disrespect an exclusive big money contract like major streamers have commanded due to investigating journalists and a Twitch employee who spoke to executives in 2020. Now, for context, YouTube has recently demonetized Dr. Disrespect following the recent allegations that he had communications with someone who was underage, and the conversations veered toward inappropriateness. However, he did not deny nor confirm that he knew that the person was underage. The Rolling Stone article does highlight some of the previous details about the Dr. Disrespect saga that began last Friday, but then gets into further details saying a former Twitch trust and safety employee who worked for the platform at the time Beam was banned and has direct knowledge of the matter confirmed to Rolling Stone that Beam continued to send sexually graphic messages to a minor he knew to be underage. This former employee, who requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their career, also said that crucial elements of Beam's latest defense tweet are inaccurate. "I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on," the former employee said. "There was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before. And I think more than the characterization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate." The ex-Twitch employee had also provided Rolling Stone a more detailed account of internal conversations at Twitch following the report of Beam's messages and his subsequent ban. They said the details of Beam's case are coming out because of Connor's explosive tweet last week. "Cody definitely got the ball rolling," they said. "Me and many of my former colleagues are only comfortable speaking out now because of it. Our priority is always to the safety of the alleged victim and to keep their identity secret," they said. And this comes after someone by the name of Lena Love Pro had mentioned that during that time in 2017 when he was cheating on his wife with not only me as a trans sex worker, but also another woman and texting a minor. He was exploiting me by making me give him cam shows with the promise of a partnership. After the cam shows, he went ahead and blocked me. However, there is no way to confirm or deny these reports. Even though she has sent some receipts, it is unclear as to whether or not these were made up or they have some kernel of truth to them. Now, all of this has come amidst calls for Twitch to release the receipts of the actual conversation that Dr. Disrespect has had with this particular person that they claimed that was a minor and that he knew something about him being a minor prior to him continuing to send these types of messages. With some of the people who are saying that they should not be released are concerned about the anonymity of the alleged victim that had been receiving these messages. Furthermore, there are people who want for Twitch to be consistent and to hold others accountable and responsible for similar types of behavior, although calls for that are getting some weird amount of pushback. Now, before I go any further into the details about all this, let me go and hit on this Lena Love Pro situation for just a second. This should be detached from the rest of the situation that Dr. Disrespect finds himself in. Even though she's trying to put in the whole thing of texting a minor, the fact of the matter is that they're probably just putting in that in order to try to link it somehow to this current situation that Cody Connors had dropped on that Friday. And as such, it's making some people decide to link it and say that he is a horrible person for blocking her or cheating on his wife with her. I think this is more a personal issue that he needs to sort out with his wife, and this seems to be more of a private matter than a public matter. I don't know how related this has to be. I don't know if it's real or not. If it is, then I don't see how it relates to what has been going on this past week. And the only thing I could see is that maybe they're trying to exhibit a pattern of behavior. And if that's the case, then they should actually say something into that regard instead of just putting this out there and just letting it go. If this is trying to show a pattern of behavior that he had during this point in time, then why not just say that? So until that happens, or there's some indication that this is somehow fully related to the situation we heard about this past Friday, then I say this is just something that is detached, and this is more of a private matter with this than a public matter. Now, to the Rolling Stone article itself, I have some skepticism with that article, and many people have two particular reasons as to why they are skeptical about this article. I have a third. Now, the first problem that people have with this, and myself included, is that this is Rod Breslau's article. Now, if you don't recall, he's the guy that was implicated a week or so ago when Cody Connors first dropped this bombshell. People went and found this series of tweets from Cody Connors, and Cody Connors mentioned Slasher in one of the tweets that was asking people to sell out his show, and if they did that, then he would say why Dr. Disrespect was banned, and that was 1 year ago that he had tried to do that on 3 separate occasions, one of which was actually confirmed to be accurate. Now, Rod is also the person that's trying to discredit an email that some other people were trying to discredit, that we're trying to figure out whether or not it had any kernel of truth behind it. We're still trying to figure out one way or the other, which said that this was a coordinated attack, and something doesn't seem right about this whole attack that Dr. Disrespect is getting right now. And for the record, a lot of people are canceling him right now. A lot of people are dropping their sponsorships of him right now. So he is getting it from all sides, no pun intended. I don't think there's too many people, if any, that are really on his side on this run right now. So he could really use some friends. He could really use some friends right in the moment. And I don't think any of them are coming to his defense. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to condone anything else that goes on Twitch. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But Rod would have a vested interest to making sure that people do not think that that one email was true. That he would have vested interest to make sure that this was Dr. Disrespect specifically doing something unique that no one else was doing on Twitch while at Twitch. So there's some skepticism as to what he's really trying to get after. The fact that he was implicated in one of Cody Connors' previous tweets, and then he's trying to discredit that email, not saying it makes it completely untrue, but there's some skepticism as to his true motives here. The second thing is, of course, it's in Rolling Stone itself. Now remember, Rolling Stone's credibility has been shattered in recent years. Not only some of the issues with the coup a couple years ago, or maybe it was a year or so ago, I forget the exact year, when they tried to say that some people were going for a particular miracle drug. Not going to say the name of it because YouTube's going to YouTube. But if you're familiar with the story, you know what it is. And of course, the story about Duke, and you know what I'm talking about there. Rolling Stone's credibility has been more than shattered in recent years, and they have no interest in repairing their image. So that's working against this story as well. Now, those two things I've heard a lot of people have said. They don't know the credibility of this article from it being from Rod, who might have a vested interest in making sure that everybody believes everything that they're saying, because they would be implicated in some sort of grand conspiracy if it turns out that they were making any part of this up. And of course, Rolling Stone being the Rolling Stone. But I have a third reason. I don't think many people were remembering about this. The person that is giving Rod this information, supposedly, is coming from a quote-unquote former Twitch Trust and Safety employee. Now, this particular group of people were the Trust and Safety Advisory Council. This was recently disbanded as of May 31st, 2024. So this happened a month or so ago. Now, who are these Safety Advisory Council board members? Well, one of them is Alex Holmes, that's the CEO and the IANA Award. One is a Twitch partner, a Twitch moderator, a director of the Free Expression Project, another Twitch moderator, and 2 doctors. Now, you might notice I only listed 8 people. There is a 9th one, and that 9th one created a lot of controversy surrounding the Trust and Safety Council. If you don't remember, there was a lot of heat directed at one particular person that was a part of the Trust and Safety Council known as Ferociously Steph. The reason why is because she was a bit unhinged. She christened herself to be a deer. I kid you not. She had said that she ate grass, and the deergasm video has been memed to heck and back. But the most incriminating thing that they were saying is that because they were elevated, that they being Twitch, saying they couldn't do anything to them, and that most people were white supremacists. And there's quite a few videos from various people that you can search on through YouTube, and you can find out more about who this person was. I don't remember them ever getting released from the Twitch Safety and Advisory Board. I know Code Carnage was a part of it at one point in time. He's not listed on that particular list that I saw because it's been so long ago. That was created in 2020, and we didn't see much of anything after that. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Rod said the former employee requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their career, and apparently they have seen the logs and judged upon that. The reason why I believe this whole thing matters of who this person is, that the person could have been Ferociously Steph. And if that's the case, then we can't take Steph at their word. We cannot do that because they have shown that they could not be trusted with the power that they got. And Rod probably knows that people were very skeptical about Steph. So if Steph was the one that saw these posts from Dr. Disrespect, they could have had a very vague interpretation of what they considered to be out of school. Which means that, yeah, there might be a reason outside of what Rod is saying as to why they're keeping this particular person anonymous. And would have nothing to do with the jeopardization of someone's career, because I doubt any other ones that are on that list would be worried about their careers going kaput if they came forward publicly with their name on it about this information, knowing that the majority of people right in the moment who are covering this story, regardless of their position on ideology, are not on this respect side. So they would say, yeah, let's come forward with the information. Don't worry about being anonymous because we'll be with you. But many people might recognize the deer girl. They might recognize Ferociously Steph. They might remember what this was all about. And they might find those videos that are still up on YouTube to this day about this particular person. And remember that Dr. Disrespect put the word minor in, deleted that word minor, then put the word minor back in, so this was edited in and out and back in. And also, no, he didn't deny that he knew the person's age, but he also didn't confirm that he knew it. He didn't confirm it one way or the other. He didn't say he knew, he didn't say he didn't know. And finally, there's no real way to determine how inappropriate things were getting in that conversation. We don't have the logs, which begs the question, why can't we ask for the receipts? Why can't we ask for Twitch to be more consistent across the board about these types of things? Why is it every time we're asking for it, either a video game journalist or someone who's trying to throw interference into everything is saying that we shouldn't ask for that, or we shouldn't have the right to see the receipts? Asking for either of those things does not mean we're absolving Dr. Disrespect of any wrongdoing. It doesn't work that way. I don't know what it is that's connecting these two dots, but somewhere along the way they're trying to connect these two dots. And I wonder why. I wonder what they could be scared of with us seeing that. There should be no excuse as to why we can't see them. You can redact the person's identity before you release the chat logs, so we know one way or the other. And if Dr. Disrespect is as guilty as everybody says he is, then the chat logs would confirm it full carte blanche. It would put everything into perspective and into context. And you have everybody on your side. This is one of the rare cases where there's a lot of unity in the video game community right now. So why is it that everybody is getting heat for asking for the receipts, asking for Twitch to be more consistent across the board, and asking why it took so long for somebody to do something definitive for us to know what happened and to act accordingly. This is why they're not completely convinced. It's not because they want to protect the pedophile. It's not because they want to let Dr. Speck get away with whatever you're accusing him of, assuming that he is completely guilty of it. They just want the full evidence. Innocent until proven guilty. Yes, that is correct, but also guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And right now, what they're saying is they have a reasonable doubt to not believe you. So you have to come out with the hard evidence. Something official, something that makes this official that this is what he did, to where there's no other reasonable doubt that can be attested to this. The logs could be the final nail in the coffin because you have everybody on your side, unless there might be something in the logs that exonerates him. Maybe that's what you're scared of. Maybe it's not that you are risking exposing the person's identity, which they don't know if she or he actually wants to stay anonymous. Maybe they want to come forward too. We don't know if they want to stay anonymous or not. They're putting words in everybody's mouth. And I believe that's the one thing that would finalize one way or the other this whole story. And yet, somehow, we're not getting there, and we're getting railroaded for even so much as asking for the receipts, when there's no reason to not have them at this point, where there's no excuse as to why we're not getting them at this point. Is Twitch that scared of it? But I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that people understand where I'm coming from. I am not in any way condoning pedophilia. I am not in any way condoning what Dr. Disrespect is being accused of. And yes, I'm using the word accused because of legal reasons. I don't want to be passing judgment until we get something definitive here. But I want to know what you guys think. I always want to know what you guys think one way or the other, as long as you stay constructive. Please leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell for more videos. Until next time, to be continued.